Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we're going to be checking out something crazy that I've never seen before, which is just awesome that you can still play Red Dead Redemption 2, and, after 6, 7, 8 months, you can continue to find brand new things that you've never seen before. Now, I had no idea this existed until I got a message on my Facebook page last night from Tom, who suggested that I check this out. Now, he showed me a brief picture and he showed me where it was located, which was right under the Asa part of the Kamassa River. I'll show you guys the location on the map right now so you can check it out for yourself. And what we discovered was pretty shocking. It's like this pile of bodies that looks like they actually escaped off of the chain gang, which is super interesting. Now, the first thing I noticed when I found the pile of bodies is that it didn't look like it was a point of interest or even something that I could interact with. And that's something we'll talk about in a little bit. Now, I stumbled across this first guy right here. I thought it was only one, and I was like, okay, he seems to be just a lost person in the woods. Not that big of a deal, but it turns out that he looks to have been crawling away from an even bigger pile of bodies. Because if we go a little bit further to the west, we can actually find huddled around a tree, there's about 5 or 6 of these escaped chain gang guys that are all hanging around about here. So when I discovered this, I knew that we had a big time mystery on our hands and that this was going to be something that I was going to have to look into a little bit more. So again, for starters, I wanted to investigate every single corpse that was here because just very briefly going over them, I couldn't loot them, couldn't pick them up. I didn't notice anything that was around them that would give away any details. So I was a little bit confused as about how they got there. So let's start with this first guy, the one that is far from the group. Why is he far away from the group? At first, I thought he was trying to escape, and then I noticed his legs. He actually didn't have any feet. So the chain gang is bound at the ankles by obviously chains to keep them together and so they can't run away. So maybe what I'm thinking this guy did is he might have cut off his own feet in an attempt to escape or had them cut off. I'm not sure. He clearly didn't make it too far as he's only a couple of meters from the rest of his gang. But you can see that this is the only guy with missing feet. And what's kind of interesting is if we go back to the camp, it seems as if you can find his feet still attached to the rest of the chain gang. So now that we know that, I think it makes a little bit more sense, is that all of these corpses, all of these bodies were at one point criminals who had escaped from a chain gang, but were still on the chain gang. And I'm guessing there was one individual that tried to escape. I guess they couldn't get themselves free from the chain, so he said, you know what? I'm better off without feet here, and I guess ankles for the most part, so I'm going to give it a go. So I think that's ultimately what he tried to do here. Now, whether or not he was successful or not, that's up to you to judge. I don't think he got that very far, so probably not too successful. Everyone else seems pretty normal. They have all of their extremities, except for this one dude leaning against the tree whose head is in his lap. Now, how that happened, I don't know, but I did find that to be kind of interesting. Now, because I'm silly and I like to try fun experiments like this, I wanted to see what would happen if we shot his head and it exploded, and we actually got dishonorable points for that. You can see by doing that, I went down an entire honor level. So I didn't know that was a thing. If you shot dead bodies, you got dishonorable points, but apparently you do. But another thing this led to is apparently these body parts will explode if you shoot them. So I spent the next 2 or 3 minutes lining up every body part I could on these guys and just shooting them off one by one, which for whatever reason I found to be really, really funny. I'm not too sure why, but it was kind of satisfying. There was even a moment where one of the skulls wouldn't break and it just started rolling down the hill, which I found to be kind of funny. However, with all of this in mind, I still couldn't figure out and unravel the mystery of why these guys were here or what ultimately happened to them. As I mentioned earlier, it wasn't a point of interest. I couldn't loot any of the bodies or anything like that. So I had a couple of theories. Number one, this might have been a cut point of interest that Rockstar eventually had Arthur and John write something down in their journal, but decided against it or changed it at the last moment. Or number two, it's just one of these things that they decided to include that isn't necessarily a point of interest. We've seen similar things like this. Like, remember the body pit of like the Blackwater athletics team in Tall Trees? That's something you can't inspect either. It's something you just have to stumble upon. So I think this is one of the most secretive things in the game because it's literally in the middle of the forest. The people blend into the ground, so it's incredibly hard to find them. But anyways, getting back to the idea of where they came from, I think it's pretty clear that these are escaped convicts or escaped felons and that they are coming off of a chain gang. But it still begs the question how they ended up getting here. We're not really close to Sisika Penitentiary or any one of the local jails for that matter. So how did this group of 6 banditos or outlaws end up getting this far out in the woods in the middle of nowhere? Well, my prediction is that they were part of a work crew out in the wild. We've actually seen this on a handful of occasions in Red Dead Redemption 2 in instances like this.
Okay, here we go. You're as useless as a 4-card flush.
I'm done listening to your bullcrap all day, every day. That's it. I'm gonna knock you upside your head.
Back to work where I bust to bury you.
That's for all them not.
This ain't how it looks.
I can't believe that worked.
Yeah, well, we don't got time to celebrate. Come on.
So, what's your plan anyway?
Plan not to get caught. Now shut up. Hurry up.
You best give us some room, partner. Hell of a business. I ain't going back in that box.
So maybe they were literally a part of a group like that that ended up killing the watchers or the lawmen over them and attempted to escape, but never had the means to actually set themselves free from the chain gang. Now, I also thought it could have been someone like this that we actually run across in the world that actually needs our help.
Oh, it's you! Come here, please! You can see the bind I'm in. I need help again. Come on! Okay, fine. I know this doesn't look good, but I swear I didn't do nothing wrong.
What the hell kind of trouble you get into this time?
Just shoot the shackles. One bullet, that's all. Everyone deserves a second chance. Come on, please.
All right.
God,
Second time's
yes.
the charm.
I can't believe it. Oh, I thought they were never coming off this time. Listen, buddy, I ain't got a red cent for you, and I feel terrible. But I did overhear something of interest. You know Ansburg? Well, some la-di-da rich folks bought up a little cabin up north of there. Very remote. You get me?
What, I look the type for all that, huh?
That's up to you, friend.
So, where are you gonna hide? Or will you just head straight back to prison on your own?
I guess I deserve that one.
So that almost sort of begs the question, like, is this the result of you not helping some of the escaped convicts that end up coming up to you? Now, I don't think that that guy is related in any way, shape, or form to the people that we ended up seeing in the woods, because they seem to be as part of a particular group. And I'm also not much of a scientist. I don't know how long it takes to like a body to decompose, to completely turn into a skeleton, but their clothing not to decompose. Maybe you can let us know in the comments down below, and that's actually a good time to mention this as well. If you feel like you've solved this mystery, be sure to let us know down there. We'd love to hear from you guys. Now, I tried a couple of other experiments as well, just because, like I said, I'm silly and I like to try these things. We tried dynamite, we tried fire bottles to see if we could actually move the bodies, but no, they are super stuck to the ground. They don't move. Basically, what happens if you use dynamite or fire bottles on them is they just become charred and basically burnt to a crisp. So nothing all that special really occurs if you drop dynamite or some fire bottles on these poor individuals. But anyways, that's all the information that I've got for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy. Let me know in the comments down below what you think happened to this escaped group of Chang Gang prisoners. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.